What would your life look like if you could set down the three biggest weights that you are currently carrying about? Number one, worrying about what others think. Number two, negativity. And number three, regret. Imagine what your life would look like if you could set down these weights and just enjoy your life without them. Welcome back to another episode of Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. I'm Sand, your mindset and habit coach, and I'm here to help you break out of that daily grind, shift your mindset, and build the habits that will take you from simply surviving to absolutely thriving, where you wake up every day excited, energized, and enthusiastic to smash your day. Today is one episode that resonates so deeply with many of us because it's something that we all need to hear from time to time. I'm talking about the three of the heaviest burdens that you often carry around with you constantly: regret, negativity, and others' opinions. They are invisible, but they are heavy. Sometimes they can actually cause us to break down and collapse. They can weigh us down like nothing else. And a quote to kick us off is from Jim Rohn: take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. And the same goes for your mind. When you're carrying around the weight of regret, negativity, and others' opinions, it's like letting junk pile up in your mental space. It's taking up unnecessary room in your mind. Room that could be used to actually do better things, to actually give you a happier, more fulfilled life. And today I'm going to be talking about how to start clearing out that clutter so you can feel lighter, more positive, and focus on what truly matters in your life. It's so easy, especially when you're young, to be influenced by all these things, by worrying about what others think. And then when you get older, there's more negativity surrounding you. And then as you get even older, it's then regret. So the further you go in life, the longer you're alive, the more of this you have to carry on your back, the more of this that you're carrying around with you constantly. It takes, when you're a child, you're trying to fit in. Even as an adult you are, but as an adult you're more likely to know a bit more about yourself. You're a bit more likely to actually to care less about what others think in some cases. Some people, they may care more, but in general, most people start to care less. But then you start to feel like all the regret, the things that when you get older, that comes with age, that wisdom, you regret the things that you used to do when you were younger. And negativity, your negativity is always around you. It's something that you can't get away from. But when you actually learn to start letting it go, that's when the changes really happen. So today I'm going to be diving into why we hold on to these things, why we need to let them go, and most importantly, I'm going to give you some ways in which you can start putting down those weights which are just holding you stuck right now. So let's talk about why we tend to carry around these three things: the regret, the negativity, and others' opinions in the first place. And a lot of it comes down to our brain's natural tendencies and the way we've been socially conditioned. So let's start with regret. Regret is a common emotional response because when we look back and feel that we missed out, we made mistakes, or things didn't go as well as they could have done, it's normal, it's completely human. But instead of using those feelings as a lesson, we often use them and let them turn into like just a highlight reel of what could have been. Being regretful keeps you anchored in the past. Even though you can't change it, it does not serve you. It does not actually do anything. What you can do is you can learn from those mistakes. So you don't sit there and think, oh yeah, actually this is what I need to do differently. You dwell on it. You sit there, you worry. Oh yeah, what's this person going to say? What's that person going to say? Oh, I should have done this. I should have acted differently. But you cannot change it. Then there's negativity, which again, I speak about a lot, but we're hardwired to be more sensitive to negative than positive. Yeah, it helps us. It's a survival technique because we need to focus on threats, but it can feel like nowadays just a cloud hanging over our heds. constant negativity and negative thinking can actually lead to chronic stress, and it can actually increase your chances of health issues by up to 40%. And then finally, we have others' opinions, social approval, it used to be necessary for survival, so it's deeply ingrained in us to care what others think. But today, with things like social media and constant comparison, you're giving it far too much power. You're giving other people's opinions far too much control of yourself. And when you let others' opinions dictate your choices, you actually start to lose touch with your own values and your own desires. You start to live a life that's consistent with what they want, not what you want. When you worry about what others think of you, you're thinking that you're making the assumption that they actually are thinking of you. And the kicker is that most of the time, people aren't even paying as much attention to you as you think. How many times have you been having a conversation with someone and you're just thinking about how to respond rather than taking in what the other person's saying? You need to let go of these three weights. You need to, when you start to let them go, imagine you're carrying around a heavy backpack, and everywhere you go, you can still move, but you're going to be tired, you're going to be sluggish, you're going to be drained of energy. And that's exactly what holding on to regret, negativity, and others' opinions does to your mental and emotional energy. When you're holding on to regret, it keeps you focused on the past instead of the future. So you're actually feeling like you're unworthy of any kind of success or any kind of change because you're actually focusing on all the things that went bad. And the same goes for negativity. It poisons your outlook on life, and it makes it hard to see opportunities because you're so focused on the potential problem. You're not looking at the opportunities. You're not looking at the doors that have been opened for you when one's been closed. As for others' opinions, they just create invisible boundaries that stop you from expressing your true self. It stops you from being you because you're trying to please everyone else. So when you actually start to let go of these things, when you start to take time and you work through it, you start to actually drop these things one by one, it actually brings you clarity. It allows you peace, and it can give you freedom. What happens is you start making decisions for yourself. You stop reliving those past mistakes. You become more resilient in the face of setbacks because you actually think to yourself, you know what? Yeah, I've done it, but my past performance is no indication of my future performance. And when you practice regularly letting go of regrets, negative thoughts, you're actually going to increase your happiness because all that negativity, all that regret, it's all just holding you down. It's stopping you from being happy because you're focusing on what makes you sad. And it also lowers your anxiety because you're no longer looking at negative and thinking about negative things to be an indication of your future. It increases your confidence because you become more confident when you stop worrying about others' opinions and start living according to your values. Think about the times where you've done what you want to, what you felt comfortable with. Think about how you've shown up for that. You've shown up happier, you've shown up more energized, you've shown up more positively. Because you're doing things that light you up, the things that make you happy. It gives you better mental health because releasing regret and negativity actually reduces your anxiety, it reduces your depression. And then finally, it also gives you more motivation and focus because letting go of that mental clutter, it helps you focus on your goals and things that truly matter to you. You cannot park two cars in a one car driveway. So when you're holding on to that old banger, the one that's filled with regret, the one that's filled with other people's opinions, with negativity, when you're holding on to that, when you're keeping that parked in your driveway, how do you expect to fit another car filled with positivity, a good life, happiness? How do you expect to drive that car onto your driveway if the space is already filled with negativity, regret, and others' opinions? You need to start to let go. And now I'm going to give you 5 ways that can actually help you release these things. Again, take a pen and paper. As I say, write it down. Yeah. Number 1 is to practice self-compassion. When you actually start treating yourself with kindness, rather than beating yourself up over past mistakes, acknowledge that you did the best you could with what you knew at the time. Remember, you're not perfect. No one is. When you have that self-compassion, it makes it easier to move forward. So when you catch yourself regretting something, just stop a second. Say you forgive yourself for that and that you're learning and growing. When you practice that self-compassion, it reduces feelings of regret and increases your resilience. Number 2 is reframe those negative thoughts. Those negative thoughts, when they pop up, challenge it. Instead of letting it spiral, ask yourself, is this actually helpful or harmful? Your negative thoughts are actually exaggerated. And the worst thing is when you keep remembering the same thing every time you remember it, you're not actually remembering the actual event. You're remembering the last time you remembered it. So what happens is if one time you say you remember it and it's slightly negative, the next time your emotional memory is going to be of that slightly negative perception, and it's going to be increased and then increased and increased, and slowly that's what was a level 1 for negativity turned into a level 10. So try to replace your negative thoughts with positive ones. So instead of saying you'll never be able to do this, say I'm actually putting effort in it and I'm learning. Every step is a step closer to being able to do it. Reframing your thoughts can improve your mood. Number 3, limit your exposure to negative influences. Turn off the news. You don't need it. Turn off the radio. Turn off those reminders, those notifications on your phone. If you're surrounded by negative people, try and just limit your time with them. Try and stop constantly scrolling through social media. Unfollow. It doesn't hurt to unfollow people who aren't bringing you the positivity in your life that you need. It's easy to get sucked into a negative mindset. So take charge of your environment by reducing and eliminating sources of negativity. Number 4, set some personal boundaries. When it comes to others' opinions, setting boundaries is actually crucial. It's difficult, but it is crucial. Decide what feedback is useful and ignore the rest. Not everyone's opinions should have a say in your life. Everyone is going to have their opinion, but whether you take it or not, get used to saying thank you, but I'm going to do what feels right for me. Say thank you, but I'm going to do this thing my way. Learn to create a filter for opinions. If advice comes from someone who respects you and has your best interests at heart, consider it. Otherwise, let it go. This boundary actually helps you focus on what matters most, and that's your own opinion. And the final thing is to focus on the present moment. Regret keeps you stuck in the past. Others' opinions keep you worried about your future. The best way to let go is to focus on the here and now. Be mindful. Allow yourself to be present. Reduce the grip on regret and reduce the weight that external opinions have on you. So there you have it. Regret, negativity, and others' opinions are the 3 of the heaviest things that you carry around with you. But there is good news, and that is you have the power to set them down. You can take responsibility. So imagine how much lighter, happier, and freer you'd feel if you just let go of these weights. So what's one thing you can let go of today that's been weighing you down? Thank you for joining me on today's episode, and remember, you're not just setting down old burdens, you're making space for things that truly matter in your life: joy, peace, and purpose. So if you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to share it with someone who could use a little extra lightness in their life. And of course, please subscribe for more episodes. Please leave me a rating or a review, and I'll keep going with more episodes filled with tips, insights, and inspirations to help you master your mindset and master your life. So until next time, keep letting go and keep moving forward. You got this.